maybe this is DMG victory, killing Reckless. Nah, just kidding. This is the first game of a best of 3. Whoever wins today moves on the upper bracket. Whoever loses from this match will go on to the lower bracket. On paper, we all know LR should be expected to win, but that's where the story gets interesting. Will we get a fun moment from DMG or even a series? It might happen. They have the names. Cyan and Vado so far being removed. Crowny being an enjoyer of that Jhin, still with one of the highest KDAs in terms of AD carry on all ERLs as it stands. What do you bring?
If I recall correctly, by the way, Crowny hasn't played anything other than Jhin so far in this split. When do we start building it? When do we change anything, please?
Does he need to? Really? If he keeps on getting it.
I'm not talking about Los Ratones. I'm talking about DMG right now. DMG, can we change anything, please?
I feel like it's fine. Like to me, like look, I think it's okay. To be honest with you, I think Jhin is actually a much stronger champion than people like to give it credit for. And I feel like on the opposite side of the map, when you have players like Bizguard and Bucci performing very well, you can afford to sit Fateski on the Jhin from time to time. It's okay. I'm being serious. You can make Fateski happy as much as you want. But the Gwen first pick is a little bit like, yeah, if you're DMG, you're kind of scratching your head, or the DMG fan, you might be scratching your head because we've seen Velia have an absolutely fantastic time on this Gwen in the past. You would expect it goes to Velia over Baus, but you never know. Maybe Baus has finally put in the time to learn that one. But the Vi picked up by DMG. We'll see if that goes immediately and gets paired with, you know, a mid lane that goes really well with the Vi, like the Ahri. There's quite a few champs you can put with it still as well from like the bot side. If you want to give Fateski a hyper carry like Kai'Sa, now would be the time. But no, they go towards DMF. So maybe setting up for a wombo combo on 3. Rel rises in priority for Kamski in that slot.
The thing I don't like immediately here right now is that DMG have already done this before. They have already showed us misfortune very early in the draft. Actually on R2, if I recall correctly, it has already happened to them. And this gives such a big opportunity for Los Ratones to draft directly into, or rather against, Faeski to make sure that this misfortune never has a chance to ult. And DMG are playing a very risky game here, opening her so early.
I mean, it's a way to also announce, like, if you pick the Jhin, we can fight it. Fateski wants a challenge, but you need to bring that brawl. But when you look into the enemy, LR is like, okay, you want a team fight? Ren is capable of doing so. The clear is amazing. The Yona yet again. And why change it? I mean, you're only allowed to play it once. So on next game, Crowny has to change. I think.
Fearless. God bless Fearless.
This is Fearless, by the way. Yeah.
Finally.
Finally. I'm expecting, well, I guess you could answer mid. I would have loved to see a Rel lock-in, but the Aurora still fits into that same umbrella of looking for wombo combos, looking for big clumps of Los Ratones and trying to take massive chunks out, and no surprise about the Braum. I wouldn't also be surprised to see the Rakan taken away and try to push Reckless onto something that he's not typically playing on. Again, the Reckless champion pool, we've hammered on it for, you know, the entire year. It tends to be very, very, what's the word, reactive. It tends to be Brahms, your Lulus, your Rakans, things of that nature, who aren't necessarily trying to push the envelope immediately on engages like we see from the Nautilus, like the Rel, which has now been banned away, or the Leona, which I suspect will likely be Los Ratones' second ban, the Leona, but we'll see. As a DMG still have that next ban to slot in, which I suspect will be Rakan.
Yeah.
But still can fall just about anywhere. If they want to target Baus too, they still have that free ban and option to do so.
But then if you ban Rakan right now, wouldn't Reckless just go into something like Alistar and still have a mighty good time on the bot lane? But they even leave Rakan open. They're not afraid of it, or maybe they want to take it themselves, but Volibear is going to be a bit scary for them.
I think Alistar could be one you take for DMG. I mean, with Misfortune, it works really well. And the Jhin paired with the Alistar of Reckless, we've seen that combo. It is way too scary. If you leave that open, you're just giving an S tier composition for game 1 of LR. As it stands, Nemesis doesn't lose with Yone, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder if maybe DMG, I mean, I feel like they should consider a top blind here maybe and try and save support R5 to just see if they can put this bot lane in an awkward position. They do. They go towards their Renekton. I like that. And now it's about what Baus has for that pick, right? Cho'Gath, certainly an okay option. You can sort of survive through the lane with the sustain, but you're not really going to have a bunch of priority, which, to be fair, should be fine, but it opens up the gates for DMG to maybe start a snowball around that side of the map if you always know you're going to have Bucci moving first. Again, there's not really many other options that come to mind out of Bowser's champion pool that's up and available that would make any more sense than the Cho'Gath, so this should get locked in.
So then as DMG right now, you can force the place around the top part of the map early on. You can then also force Grubs, because you know most likely Los RATONES aren't even going to try to contest them way too much unless they have a clear prio there. That opens a way for DMG to play this game, but I really wonder what the support pick is going to be like, because we don't have Rail, we don't have Nautilus anymore. Pretty much only leaves Leona, right?
I mean, you go Rakan, then Kamsky should go Leona, and I suspect that that'll be the composition rounded out. Though I don't know, who knows? Maybe Kamsky surprises us and goes not Leona, but it's the glaringly obvious choice.
Yeah.
Out of what is up and available, I suppose.
Why not Ali? This is because you also steal away the Ali from next games.
Yeah, but then you also can't really punish this lane. I feel like you want to get off to a quick start in this one.
Sona!
Wow.
Okay, well, wild curves.
Right.
Okay.
So I'll talk about this for a second, because weirdly enough, I've got an unusual amount of history with this champion.
Okay.
It's not really going to be punished by Rakan too hard. It's going to actually...
Expectations going into this game number one.
Well, you've got to pull something out of the bag, haven't you, to beat Los RATONES. Doesn't matter who you are in the NLC, they are certainly always the team to beat. Up until this point, they have lost one singular game in NLC, through playoffs, through regular season, everything. And yeah, you're coming in here, DMG, as the lower seed. It's a toughie. And I mean, we've mixed things up with Sona and, you know, the Renekton in the top side as well. It's going to be interesting to see how it pans out, but yeah, you're very squishy with a lot of damage on the side, Los RATONES.
Well, looks like we're going to see a little bit of early action already. Knock-up lands onto Kamsky, just sends them packing. Not really going to see too much action early off the back of this one. I do have my concerns, because me and you had a little bit of discussion about it, and there was discussion on the desk, but a slightly different opinion on Bucci's Renekton to what me and you think. I have been very, very vocal on Renekton for a while. I don't think, unless you play in the LPL, you can actually play this champion. I don't think anyone in Europe can play Renekton well. I truly stand by that statement.
It's like the NA Jace.
Yeah.
EU Renekton. It's just, I mean, the thing is, the difficulty with Renekton is, like, he's so... You've got to get that advantage early and leverage his strength early into something that manifests in that mid game, which you can then translate into closing the games out before you reach the big later stage of the game. It's rare to see that. It is rare to see that, and we've seen Bucci on Renekton before, and it's not always worked out quite well. So it's going to be tough. You know, obviously, he should have control of the top side. Demand to point that out as well, just from the champions, like against Cho'Gath, Renekton should be able to bully him. But what does DMG get from that to justify the pick of this big croc in the top side as the game goes on?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it is just going to nosedive in power, where, you know, the Cho'Gath is just going to continue to scale. We know that Yone and Gwen also heavy scaling champions. There's a lot of power later in the game, and Los RATONES, we know, one of those teams who, when they get ahead, they just take over, man. Like, it's so hard. Ooh, Velia does have to be careful.
Yeah, he's the target of an invade here. Dandem jumped over the grub wall.
Actually, they just completely sent in. Q comes down. First blood for Bucci. Nice and easy. Dandem gonna get himself a grump as well.
Yes, that early ward placed down by Bucci really ratted Velia out in that one, and because he's taking Ghost on this Gwen, which is pretty standard, doesn't mean you don't have the flash to get away from these early plays, as Baus now might just lose his own flash.
Red buff on Bucci! Able to secure the kill, nice and easy.
Okay, good start right here for DMG. Dandem also picked up the rest of the top side from Los RATONES. That's the blue and the Gromp there. Not sure if Velia has any response. It doesn't look like it. We might get a little bit of a scuffle in the river, but apart from that...
Oh, able to smite away the crab. Dandem's just going to walk away. I mean, there's no buffs onto Velia. Lost them both. And, well, lost the red buff and handed it over to Bucci. Blue buff, I believe Dandem must have stolen away, actually. Although they are equal
Yeah, he
farm.
did. Dandem took the Grump and blue.
Yeah, his blue's up. That's why. Okay, cool. Looks like Velia wants to try and answer out, though. The reset of DMG's bot lane means that they're going to be walking this way. So this might be a little bit hard for Velia. I think they're recognizing that and just going to have to settle with being down the camps, being down the gold to Dandem, and just going to cash up whatever they can right now. But early laning phase, DMG doing absolutely terrifically so far. Really, really strong showing. I say that, and then we pan up to Bucci, who is heavily chunked.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened up there because he got a pickaxe on his reset going into that Eclipse most likely.
Reckless has found Bizguard. Bizguard is going to not get caught because it's actually able to bounce, securing a kill onto Bucci. Bizguard now in danger, going low. Reckless will secure the kill with the auto.
Yeah, not the optimal target to get the kill there is a Rakan, but it's a kill nonetheless. And as you saw, also a kill topside, which is absolutely tragic. He had 2 kills. He got the kill on Gwen with the red buff, then got the solo onto Baus. TP back in with all that advantage and somehow get a solo kill. That is purely illegal gameplay right there from Bucci, but he may have just found Velia. Velia's got no ghost either.
Yeah, Velia's still trying to go for a run for it. Does have the snip lined up, all charged up, decides to back off. Does drop the Krog camp though. But it's a bit of a heartbreak scenario there for DMG because they had a really good little opener where they got 2 kills onto Bucci, really good ward placement, catching up Velia, putting him behind, then getting the solo kill in the top lane. And then suddenly, Lost RATONES just answer out with 2 solo kills for themselves. They're now going to transition this into that Chemtech Drake. Grubs aren't even up yet, so there's no response here from Lost RATONES. And with the fact that Calmsky is now roaming with Dandem, there's a world where they're just going to look for these early grubs and really accelerate the tempo of those feats to strengthen themselves.
They should look for these grubs. At least that should have been the plan here before Bucci got solo killed. Because it wasn't just a solo kill, but he lost so much XP under that turret as well. Like, Baus is 6 and Bucci is still level 5. Like, he does have a wave coming in, but it's still a pretty big difference between those top sides now. Like, you want to leverage this Renekton strength early. Like, you want to play for these grubs here. We'll see if it's able to do it as Bucci's gone in, but again, only level 5.
Got a big chunk, but Baus is continuing to fire away. Baus has that ultimate, secures himself that feat of strength, secures himself the solo kill, and he doesn't care, man. He's just walking at Dandem and Calmsky. They have to back off and cool it. This top lane is starting to get a bit scary, and this is when Renekton's meant to be at his best.
Starting to get a bit scary, mate. I hear sirens. They're coming for Bucci, man. They're going to put him in jail. Straight up. No due process. Just slam him in. Put him in there. Throw away the key, man. This is the... No, you can't be doing this with a 2-kill lead on a Renekton versus Cho'Gath. He's 2 levels down, dude. At 7 minutes. Like, he's going to ding... Yeah, okay. He's like 1 minute off level 6, but still, it sounded more dramatic when I said it that way. Just not cool. Can't be doing this at all. This is a tragic start here for DMG.
I think what was saddest about that was he just got solo killed by a Cho'Gath twice, who's got the... I can never remember the Simstai Souls, I believe is the name of that. He's got those where he's sitting on a pickaxe, he's sitting on like full AD items, and he's getting solo killed by Boots Cho'Gath.
By Moby Boots Cho'Gath.
This is just point for the point of sake of point here. No one in this region can play Renekton, man. This champ is actually impossible for EU players.
It is, it's tragic. It's not looking too hot right here. It's not looking too hot at all. I don't really know what else to say about it. We've kind of highlighted it. It's no bueno. And yeah,
the good news is...
Okay, let's go. Hit me with some good news, please.
Fearless. No more Renekton. Yes. We are in Fearless, so there's no more Renekton. Bucci can't get himself caught out by that one. Baus doing the Baus classic and just going for a cheeky proxy farm there, just to cash that wave, and Bucci's going to have just to be forced to have no backup and no plate threatened at all here. It looks like Nemesis is thinking about jumping onto Bizguard, but didn't see that Dandem was in the area, and luckily he didn't pull that trigger. Could have got caught out. Dandem's moving over towards the grubs, though. May try and turn his attention towards that, or the old wraparound onto Nemesis. He's got the ultimate. Nemesis needs to be careful. He's going to just ult away to safety as Bizguard commits his ult as well. No one's on any real threat. As I say that, Nemesis walks into the E and gets chunked.
Nah, but that's really good by Nemesis. Didn't even wait around at all. Just instantly blows the old team. You can see the lane swap now. Baus has walked down bot side. transferring that power of Crowny and Reckless from the bot side of the map to the top side of the map here to secure those grubs. DMG won't have anything to do about this one. The real question becomes the threat here. Potential dives on these solo laners. Baus has walked up way too far.
He's got flash, just able to break away from Dandom. Nice little knock up as well, just to send them packing. They do catch on to Bucci here. Bucci just eating a little bit of poke. I say that, the curtain has been called. The shots are coming in. That's one, that's two. Here comes the fourth shot. Bucci on the run, has to flash to break away. Meanwhile, Baus could be under some serious threat here. DMG going to be closing in. They've got that knockup. Baus doesn't have the ultimate. Does try and get himself away, but he's caught inside the misfortune. Knockup onto multiple people, keeping himself healing with the passive as Bizguard makes his way forward. Fateski's going low. Baus is doing his best to hold on. Is able to get a big chunk of damage out of all of those players and clear the wave. But ultimately, DMG with 4 kill him.
They get the kill, but yeah, like you say, with 4 members had to go down bot. And they spent a lot of time down there as well. Velia, in the meantime, has been farming up a Storm. 2 plates over mid lane to Nemesis. Top side of the map as well. Bucci had to recall, and so this, the whole tower's gone, man. Like, yeah, you killed Baus, but at what cost? That was absolutely not worth it. And Baus with his global taunt at it again.
And that's the feat of strength completed as well. A lot towards that Ghost Blade on Crowny. He's pretty much there. Got his boots of Swifties, or Swiftness boots. And yeah, DMG left scratching their heads. They commit too hard onto that bot side, and they're actually now rotating Nemesis into the bot side. And you can see the bot lane here for the side of Los Ratones making their way over towards mid and just going to try and crash in on some more plates for themselves, to be honest. They've had a really, really solid start of the gold. Can't see if the gold lead's actually not that substantial at the moment, surprisingly. I suppose they didn't get a kill, they just got plate gold, and they were sharing it, but still.
I think 2.5k for 10 minutes is, well, close to 3k now. Is 3k at 10 minutes is pretty big. It's pretty big.
I was looking at the individual golds there. It's only a 400 gold between ADCs.
True, actually. It doesn't look as big when you look that way. That is fair. But yeah, I mean, the fact that we're still only 11 minutes into this game, the plates are still available. It's what Los Ratones are moving Crowny and Reckless around the map for, to siege these turrets, to get these plates. They're gonna pick up this dragon as well.
Nemesis almost getting caught out. Not going to be on any real threat here. Kamsky does have the crescendo available. Not going to throw it down. As it looks like Los Ratones have turned their attention towards this dragon. Dandom's making his way over, though. Baus not actually in the area. Nemesis, no TP. Not going to be a problem for the side of Los Ratones, though. They're able to secure themselves that little dragon. Dragon number 1 for themselves. Already got that feat of strength, so they don't need to really worry about that. And I think it's just back and finish up your first items here for Crowny. This is going to reset and pick up himself a Ghost Blade.
Yeah, big spikes coming through from Los Ratones. Yumu's now with tier 2 boots for Crowny, alongside the Nash's Tooth for Velia. With that, once you get that Nash's Tooth, that on-hit damage with that attack speed as well, it's so good for champions that can really use it. And Gwen is one of those champs. Like, she's going to be absolutely blitzing through the jungle. Her 1v1s are going to be insane. Dandom sacrificed a lot of his personal strength to try and get his team ahead. It's not really worked. Now we can see this big old invade. Dandom's in trouble.
Yeah, he's able to jump over the wall. Deadly Flourish not going to make a connection. Just going to steal away his camps here. And it feels... This is the standard Los Ratones just choke out, right? Like, there's actually not been that much big action. There's been a couple of solo kills here and there, but for the most part, it's just been smarter play, better rotations, and Los Ratones are just continuing to control the tempo of this game. Gold lead at 3,000, and it just already feels like DMG are starting to play to the drumbeat of Los Ratones. They need to find their own way in, their own answer, and that should have been through Bucci. This guy got 2 kills at the start of the game. This is a Renekton who got accelerated, and yeah, Synchronized Souls just getting absolutely gapped by them.
It's not looking too hot. The problem is as well, like, how is this Renekton gonna operate for the rest of the game? He's already had to pivot. He got a pickaxe in his first recall, and since then he bought Merc Treads, man. He's already had to rush the Merc Treads against the Baus here. It's not looking too hot, as DMG might be trying to contest these grubs, but it's going to be kind of hairy.
They want to go for it, though. Velia doesn't actually feel like they're up for the fight. I am surprised by that, considering how ahead Los Ratones are, but they're happy just not to coin flip it. They got 5 grubs. There's no point potentially giving over some kills and losing a lot of your tempo. just to secure that sit. So I don't actually hate this from Lost Returners. I actually think it's quite smart. There's Nemesis just going to steal away the Gromp potentially and keep Bizguard away from that wave underneath his tower. He's able to pick himself a fair few plates here. Got that Bork already.
Can he get
just going to jump away. Yeah, he's got 5 Grumps, man. The dot is massive.
1 second. Yeah, I mean, the reason... Oh, we're going to get engaged, though. Dandom's in trouble.
Yeah, he's able to flash away. Going to immediately break off. Bizguard actually getting a fair amount of damage down. Throws the ultimate just to reposition. Really nice there. But Velia connects in with the needlework. Now they've got the curtain call. Bizguard completely protected by the clump of his team. Nice attempt from Lost Returners, but a really solid defense from DMG in response.
It's all happened around the bot side of the map, and this is why Lost Returners dipped from that grub play. Hold that
Crowley.
Okay. Does he go back in? No, I think we're chilling for now. There's the
No,
TP.
Bounce.
Oh my goodness. The turret flank.
Wait. Oh, forces the flash out of Crowley. Bucci's teleport. Bucci being a bit greedy there, overstaying.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's... Yeah, Crowley, that's kind of big, I guess, when you're, you know, a Jhin. Doesn't have any mobility, but he's already got U moves. He's got Swifties. I think, you know, he's less worried about not having his flashes. Some other builds might be. Just to round off the point, like, it's really smart for Lost Returners to not dedicate to the grubs, because it was going to be a 5 versus 4. Bizguard was coming up. He was already in mid lane, right, when that play resolved. But Nemesis stayed down bot, and Nemesis staying down bot meant he could get the turrets, the turret play, and eventually got the turret itself, built up a bit of a positioning advantage so he could catch Bizguard, which then almost led to him getting caught there as well. So it's all good, and like, the aggression from Lost Returners is very tempered, right? It's they get big leads around the map and in their wallets, but it's not often just by killing everyone all the time. As you can see, like, they're winning this game quite handedly, but it's still only 3 kills to 3.
Yeah, it's not always about the kills, though. That's the thing. You know, they've already secured this feat of strength very early. They've got a whole heap of plates. Now, actually starting to get some of those towers. Only the mid lane Altus stands, and that's relatively chunked already. It's not going to take long for Lost Returners to then widen this gold gap even further. I say that as Baus potentially finds himself in a bit of danger, trying to make a run for it. Is going to look for the knock up onto Calmsky. He's able to evade away from him, and Baus, I think he's just recognized he needs to clear the wave and keep the tower alive, and that's exactly what he's going to do. All of those get picked up. Baus will trade his life out, but again, what's the cost? They lose the Rift Herald. They may even lose their top lane for this. That is a massive chunk on the Bucci. Caught by the ultimate. Reckless has to jump away as the bullet time comes out, and Bucci walks away with 53 HP. The charge of the Herald comes in, though, and that is going to be mid lane tower going exceptionally low. I don't think Calmsky's really got the defense. They're actually going for the old runaround on the Herald here. Just going to make a run.
He's going to try to steal the dragon with it.
No way.
Here he comes.
Here he comes. Dandom's in danger. Doesn't get caught by the knockup. Velia has to use the W already. No flash available. He gets caught by the crescendo, and all of the lockdown catches him in place. Velia having a little bit too much fun with that one.
That was an interesting play. That is certainly one of the plays of all time in League of Legends. Not going to work out, but I respect it. It looked pretty cool. It looked pretty funky. But he's going to fall. He wasn't worth a huge amount of gold, so I guess it is what it is. And at the end of the day, the question you always have to ask when Baus is getting focused, when he's dying, what is the cost? Bucci didn't die before, and he's not going to die this time either. But that turret is on its last legs. The mid turret got blown up too. It is a kill, but I don't know. The position on the map, and the fact that the kill went over to Soren as well, not ideal.
We got our Archangels, I guess. That's my one bit of copium there. Jeez. So got a lot of mana to work with. Reckless finds a knock-up into the double knock-up from Nemesis. Deadly Flourish keeps him rooted. Calmsky flashes away into the waiting hands of Crowley as now Dandom's been run down. Caught of another knock-up. Double kill for Crowley. Teleport coming in as well from Baus, and Fatesky needs to be careful. That is a scary, scary Cho'Gath. It looks like it's just going to back off and probably focus up these towers now.
And Baus, of course, focusing up the proxy minion wave. But as you mentioned, that turret is really, really low, so with that wave dead and Nemesis pushing in, should be going down here. The question is now, 18 minutes into the game, what are our next focuses? Because we've got 3.5 minutes until Dragon, 1.5 for Atakan. I would say, like, Lost Returners are... ahead enough in this game that they can kind of just do what they want. And if they start dangling Atakan in front of DMG, they're going to force an engage that DMG really do not want to take.
Man, movement speed Cho'Gath's crazy. How quick Baus got from topside into tier 2 bot lane is insane. Like, he just so much movement speed, but he's just able to walk over, make sure he gets back in time, and that tower wasn't under any threat. It took Bucci as much time to clear a wave as it did for him to reset and walk over. Looks like they're out looking for something onto Velia, though. Has got the needlework and the ghost. Is going to get jumped onto. Jumps over the wall. Throws down that W for a bit of safety. It's going to put a bit of extra damage in. Dandem's actually starting to go a little bit low here. That's Snips catching on as Velia ease away. Throws down the ultimate. Dandem now has to flash away. There goes the Crescendo. Only hits onto one. The flash from Baus secures the kill. Into the knockup. Another needlework comes down as they continue to try and put some damage out. Silence into all 4 members. Baus finds the knockup. He needs to clear the way for that. Bullet time is making quick work of him, but Calm Sky collects another kill. The Sonar is getting fed and no one else.
And the question remains, at what cost? Bot side is getting hammered by Nemesis. The mid tier 2 has now fallen in favor of Los Ratones as well. Yes, they picked up a kill, but DMG lost so much on the map. I'm not convinced it was worth it. Baus dying for Velia's sins. I mean, it was a 1-for-1 at the end day as well, right? All 5 members.
Yeah,
5 versus 2 go 1-for-1. I don't know, dude.
The Nemesis has now picked up both of the tier 2 towers, the inners on top and bot, the ones that are worth 700 gold. He is 2.5k up over Bizguard. This is an incredibly scary Yone. Got a massive gold lead. So far, he hasn't really been as active in the skirmishes and the team fighting. But now that he's got the shield bow and that Bork, and probably a large part of his next item on his next reset, he is going to be terrifying. It looks like he's looking to start up this Atakan, able to do a fair amount of damage to it. Baus is here.
He could solo this, yeah.
He could, but he's got a smite and a feast now, so it's going to be nigh impossible to steal it. Dandem not even going to think about it at this point. They're going to pick this up nice and easy, and Baus, just another stack for him, and he's left to collect the flowers.
Oh man, DMG now. It's all falling apart. It's a tough game for them here. The question is, how do you really get back into it? Obviously, that's not an easy question to answer against the likes of Los Ratones, but you have to give credit to the way they've looked for these picks, right? They've looked for the picks, they've tried to get the kills. If you alleviate pressure on one side of the map, from that point, you kind of have an anchor where you can start to take care of your other lanes as well, right? So in theory, if you kill Baus, he's off the map, it's easy for you to defend mid and bot, because you don't then have to worry about Baus running it down in your top side. Unfortunately, in practice, the execution of taking Baus down just hasn't really worked, and Los Ratones have taken so much in response, and Fatesky, he's going to find this ward. Oh, Baus is gone.
Oh, Baus got the reset off in time.
The symbiotic souls betrayed him.
Nemesis, he's in a fair amount of HP. He does so much work though already. I believe he's close towards that Infinity Edge. He's got to be close. He literally based and just got a BF sword. So it'll be interesting to see how much gold he actually has. But for now, looks like Los Ratones is going to be able to pick up their second dragon. Another good little bit of copium news for DMG fans is Dragon Soul's probably not going to be on the cards this game, and if so, it's a long way away. They've been able to pick up 2 dragons, so they've happily been able to secure themselves for that. The problem is now is just the item disparity between Los Ratones and DMG. You got the Riftmaker, Synchronized Souls, and Dead Man's Plate onto Baus to just the Eclipse. It's a 3-item Yone to a 2-item Aurora. Like the item deficit is absolutely monstrous right now, and Crowley not going the crit Jin and instead going lethality Jin. That Serpent's Fang is so valuable this game. There's an Eclipse, there's a Bloodthirster, and there's a Sonar. With an Archangels, he is going to be absolutely cutting through those shields, opening up into Nemesis. Deadly Flourish goes wide. Crowley's trying to make a run away, and it looks like Dandem is going to get popped. Nemesis able to secure that kill, and now the curtain has been called. Fatesky caught for the knockup. Nemesis doesn't quite hit on with the Q, but he flashes over. Fatesky's going low. Nemesis secures himself one as Bizguard runs away. Caught in the knockup, though. Nemesis's damage is absolutely brutal here. He gets the triple. He gets the quadra. They might even go for it. Bucci's on the run. Nemesis jumps over the wall. The team are going to continue to chase. There's the Deadly Flourish. In comes Nemesis. It's going to be a Penta, baby. Nemesis with the Penta.
Pentakill for the rat in the mid lane. Nemesis hit that Infinity Edge, his 3-item spike, and he decided to end the game there. And then 5 kills on the bounce. 0-0-3, straight survive. 5-0 and 3. Didn't have to mess about with that one, did he? He took his time to get his first kill in the game, and once that came down, the rest soon to follow.
That was absolutely beautiful from Nemesis. He's just been slowly getting crazy strong this game. Velia actually gets outsmited, but I don't think that really matters too much to him. Doesn't get caught by the Q and misses the snips. Kamski's coming in. Velia is going to get so much damage down. Sends him packing. He's still got the needlework, and now it's a double kill for him. Bizcard's trying to make a runaway, flashes over the wall, and Nemesis is there. It's the time for the Gwen to get the triple. Oh my word, Los Ratones looks scary as hell.
That is horrifying to watch, dude. Nemesis just 1v2'd the ADC and mid in that previous team fight, and now Velia's 1v3 as well. That's just not cool, man. It's not cool at all. I think DMG will be happy to see the back of this game.
Mid and bot lane haven't died once this game here for Los Ratones. They've been having an absolute killer performance. Fateki throws out the bullet time, trying to kill them, not going to get it. The curtain has been called. Bucci will fall, and in jumps Nemesis to secure a double. Down they go. It wouldn't be a Los Ratones game without Baus jumping onto the fountain, but game 1 in the bag. 25